Well, that made the score 31-7. Dragons with a lead going into the half, and then you had to feel pretty good when you addressed your kids at halftime with the 24-point lead.
Well, there's a lot of buzz in the locker room, a lot of excitement, and we went in there and made some adjustments and told them, hey, it's 0-0.
Yep, that's exactly what we were saying.
You have to come out and play the second half now because, hey, Lake Erie's won some football games too, and they're going to come out and battle. So, we preached to them, hey, come out, it's 0-0, let's march down and score, let's stop them, and to be honest with you, we really didn't do that. I felt that we came out flat in the third quarter, and it was almost like, hey, we got this big lead. Now we can breathe a little bit. Well, you can't do that because you're going to let some opponents get back into those football games.
Sure.
And, so that was – still a little bit of a sign of a young program right there. I mean, we got to learn how to come out, and no matter what the score is, no matter if we're way ahead or way behind, you still got to have football left, and you can either get back into a game or you can give up a lead.
Especially at this point of the season. I mean, you got 30 minutes of football left, and that's it.
Right.
That's all you have left. And third quarter got started off, Lake Erie College at the 10:33 mark. David Beaujalad, a 2-yard pass from Patrick Nicely. Patrick Nicely, I think he was the original starting quarterback for them at the start of the year. Had a bit of a knee injury.
Yeah.
The other quarterback came in. His name is Gallagher. And then Nicely came in, played for a little while. And then was it a safety? Or no, a wingback. Crumpack ended up playing some quarterback for him as well.
In. Yeah, and I knew they had played two. I had no idea the third guy came in until the very end of the ball game. Mm-hmm. And, Patrick Kidd, he did play earlier in the season. I think his knee injury, I think he's a transfer from Toledo, if I remember correctly. And, he sits back in their pocket and delivers a good football. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can tell he's talented. I think we sacked him late in the game. It looks like we might have he hurt his shoulder or something like that. And that might be when the third guy came in.
Yeah. That was a 9-play, 75-yard drive, put 4 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock, and Lake Erie had shortened that lead down to 31-14, but then at the 2:32 mark of the third period, Seth Pico, another 25-yard field goal after a 6-play, 29-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, and that made the score 34-14.
Yeah, again, we came out flat in that third quarter, and it was good for us to get some points right there with a field goal. Again, it was a drive. I felt like we had a great drive going, and another penalty, right there. And it's hard to overcome penalties, especially, you start looking at 1st and 20. Mm-hmm. But, at least we got down. We did get some points on the board right there. That same drive, we misread Mark Rogers in the corner of the end zone. I thought we had him open for a touchdown there.
But a couple of nice catches for you as well in the ballgame.
Yeah, Mark's going to be a great player, too. Yeah. We even lined him up in the backfield.
Yeah.
And
when you go that full house in the backfield there, you got some big fellas back there.
Mark is, he's a redshirt freshman, mm-hmm. So he's still got 3 years left. And, I think he's a guy that we can develop into, the NFL-type H-back.
Yeah.
We can play him at tight end. We can motion him from the backfield. A lot like the Jared kid over at Finley. I mean, I think their tight end H-back is a great player. Mm-hmm. And I think Mark can develop into that because he's got soft hands. He played in the Big 33 All-Star game coming out of high school at the linebacker position.
Oh.
So he's got some nasty to him, and he's a big, strong, physical guy.
Well, they see Pennsylvania wants to play Maryland now and that. They don't want to play Ohio anymore in the Big 33.
Do they really?
Yeah, they want to change things up. But no more scoring in the third period and no more scoring in the fourth period. That was the final score. Dragons a big 34-14 victory. And, Coach, I got to say, it was fun watching. I think it was it Dwan Tufts and Rafael Cuellar who were getting the Gatorade bath ready for you. And we was watching them do it. And it was nice to see the team have that excitement and everything after a big victory. And just to watch them dump it on you, it was a lot of fun to watch up there in the press box.
Yeah, they obviously the game wasn't quite over. We went to our victory formation, and the guys, of course, wanted to run one more play. Well, we have one of our receivers stays on the field when he's not supposed to be out there for the victory play. So we get a penalty right there to end the game. And so I'm correcting the receiver, and he's looking at me kind of smiling the whole time I'm correcting him. So I'm starting to get a little mad about it.
I'm sure.
What I don't realize is he's looking over my shoulder at me, fixing to get drenched, and it's fine. It was all fun and all, but those things need to happen after 7, 8, 9 win seasons.
Yeah.
But I do understand. I do understand the seniors' excitement and them wanting to. I understand that, so I'm not really mad at them.
They never had a chance to do that before,
right? Yeah. But it might have been a little bit embarrassing when it happened, I guess. And it was cold.
No, I'm sure it was. But what a big stepping stone though as we work through this season now and get ready for next year. A big victory, 3 victories this year is 3 more than the program had last year. So it's a huge step forward. Not as many wins as you'd like, There's a few wins that we left sitting on the table out
Sure.
there this year.
Most definitely.
But there's got to be a lot of positives you can take from this season.
Yeah, I think there definitely is. The guys are excited about going into the off season. They know we're right there. And you never know. I mean, you get those 5 wins this year, and there's going to be another 2 or 3 out there that the kids are going to win just because they believe.
Yeah.
So it is good to see that, hopefully we're starting to turn, the attitude and get rid of the losing attitude and start thinking like winners. So that's very encouraging. But, this offseason is going to be very, very, very important to us. And, we must lock them guys in the weight room and get them bigger, faster, and stronger. And then add another good recruiting class to that. Now I do believe that our freshmen here, I'd put them up against anybody else's freshmen in the conference.
I bet so as well.
Because not only, do I believe in them, we recruited them, but, the game reps they got this year, I can promise you that Grand Valley didn't play this many freshmen. Finley didn't play this many freshmen. I know Ashland didn't.
Yeah.
So, that makes us feel good and know that, we could be an up-and-coming program.
Especially at offensive line. The offensive line, all those young kids getting all that playing time. And like you were saying, the young man had a bit of an injury, and he's like, wanted to take him out. He's like, well, who you going to put in? Because your depth was gone after week 2 of the season pretty much. But that offensive line really improved greatly, and I see some big things out there. That's going to be a nice tandem, a nice group.
Yeah, Max Pollum and Marcello Brown, 2 freshmen that really, really, stepped up this season. And they're week 3 when we had to throw them in for their first start. Max probably going to get mad at me, but, he was taking the field against Grand Valley his first start, and he didn't know whether he was coming or going.
Yeah,
he was that nervous.
I bet.
And, Marcello Brown started the last 6 games for us, and kind of the same thing, both of them thought they were ready, and then we threw them in the fire, and they realized real fast that, wow, this is a man's conference.
Exactly.
But then they stepped up to that challenge and really, really played good the last, I'd say, 5-6 weeks. So very proud of those 2. And, we had Destin Craig on the show last week as well. And, he's our sophomore center, and I owe it a lot to him because he really helped those guys mature and made some adjustments that really, helped them.
And speaking of last week, Joe Collard was on as well. Seems like he's been a Dragon for 10 years already, but he still got him coming back for another year. He got a lot of depth on the defensive side coming back too.
He'll be a senior next year on the defensive line, and we're young on both sides of the football.
Absolutely.
So we just need to add a few more pieces to the puzzle. We need some interior defensive linemen, to give us some more depth right there. You're always going to need some offensive linemen to give you depth, and and just put the final touches on this program. And I think that and I know that we can win a lot of football games here if we did that.
Well, should we take a break and bring your defensive coordinator, Seth Durr, on the program with us? We'll talk about his defense. We'll talk about those 4 interceptions he got for you this week. And we'll talk about the improvement he saw to his kids from week 1 through week 11.
We won the 6 sacks.
And the 6 sacks as well.
I might be more excited about the sacks than I am the picks.
Probably, absolutely. We'll step aside and take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Gary Goff Show on WTTF, Cool FM 93.3 and WTTF.com, all part of the BAS Sports Radio Network.